Hello, how's everyone doing? Back for week two of this Scene Chat Tuesdays. I did listen. We decided to do this at 6 p.m. instead. Couple of things to go through this week. Hopefully, the technical issues have been sorted. I got a bit of feedback from last week saying, we were discussing various points and it all just seemed to be all over the place. I've actually came today with a run sheet as well, so we've got a plan of what we're going to do. I'm going to run through what that is in a second. But if this is the first time you've listened to this, this is essentially me talking shit for half an hour about the music scene that we're in, whether that be bounce, hard dance, old school, hardcore, wherever it may be. We'll be discussing all sorts, depending on what the viewers want to talk about. I've got a bit of an agenda today, which I'm going to go through in a second. Um, but yeah, we'll just get into it. I've got a hot topic of the week as well, which may upset a couple of people, but that's what we're here for. I don't mind voicing my opinion. And a couple of other things that we're going to be doing is things like I'm going to be showing you how to share questions if you've got questions you want to include. Unprofessional of me there, a bit of a phone ringing. Um, a couple of Manic updates, and we're going to be doing track reviews. We've got a few tracks to review today. We've got three. We've got a remix from Danny Gibson. We've got a new track out on Tidy 2 from Xander Club. And there is a track that's been put forward by a guy called V Bounce. I believe he's based over in Australia, so we're going to check those out throughout the show. So that'll be good. And what else have we got? Oh yes, so we'll just jump straight in with today's point. If you like the format of this show, and again, any feedback's highly appreciated. I want this to be a hub and a space where people can voice their opinions on the thoughts on tracks. Be upfront about music, events, what they like, what they dislike, because I can confidently tell you that if there is any negative feedback from an event or a release or a mix that I've put out or someone else has put out, I'll make sure that said people see this, because what we want to do, we want to strive to make the scene better, whether that's with the quality of the music, the quality of the events, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do today is start with topic of the week, and this is going to really help the event promoters out there. Um, I seen it on social media, and I apologise that I can't remember who actually put this forward, but so I do apologise. I don't know who it was, and what it is what makes you as a raver want to go to an event. I would like to know what that is. Even if you pause this now and go and comment below, and just let me know before we get into the weeds of my argument. Um, there is a couple of events going on this weekend in the northwest. We've got obviously Zone and Fever in Blackpool. We've got Bouncing in Burnley, and we've got Corruption in Wigan. So there is quite a few events on, and there is a couple of comparisons I would like to make. Why am I making the comparisons? It's because it's on the same night. There's no issues or anything where I'm like, oh, I prefer this one over this one. I purely base my decisions off the following, which we're going to get into in a second. So just as a quick rundown of where we are, I'm going to show you the lineups in a second. Talk about the events a little bit, and get into it from there. I would like to know other people's perception. Like, what is it that drives you to go to an event? I can share mine at least. Um, from my point of view, it's a brand's a big part of it, because if I work with a brand as a DJ or go as a raver, I know that I'm getting a certain level of quality with that brand. It's like anything. It's like your Gucci's of the world or your Nike or whatever it may be. When you go to buy that product, you know what you're getting. You've got a certain level of trust and familiarity with it. So let's say that I was going to go to a BTID event. I've got a sort of know. I know what I'm getting myself into if I was going to this event. At the same time, if I was going to something like an antidote, I know what to expect with these events. So that's why I think brand plays a big part of this, and it will do, in my opinions, in a second for the nights that's coming on at the weekend. That said, there's a couple of other things that make a huge impact to that. and that is the lineups. Obviously, the lineups are critical. I've seen over the years some absolute amazing lineups where the brand haven't been the biggest or the most hyped, and they've had to turn out because the brand hasn't sort of isn't established enough to be able to pull in the big numbers. They think putting the big names on, putting amazing lineups on is going to do it. It absolutely doesn't. On the flip side, I've seen big brands be really really stingy with their lineup at times, and still got the numbers through the door. But like there is a back and forth to be had there. Like in my opinion, if you are the big brands of the scene, you should be putting on the biggest and best names. It just goes hand in hand with it. If you're a small promoter, obviously it makes sense to only go to your means. If you only got 200 capacity club, you don't go and book a DJ for like 20 grand because you're not going to make the money back. It's just basic business. That said, I want to get into the events that's happening this weekend, and I'm going to give my opinion on both of them because this is a discussion point in which I think that a lot of people have different opinions, and that's absolutely fine. But I'm going to show you what's appealing on each one to me, and see how they've both got their own niche in this space. So if I just flick onto here, oh, there we go. So this weekend there is Corruption Bounce, Neon Ocean. It's at Pure nightclub. Everyone knows Pure. Some people will go to Pure just because it's Pure. That's just fact. So there is a pull there. Obviously, the lineup. The lineup's pretty strong. It's got the residents on there as well. Room two. Few names I'm not familiar with on there, but with brand awareness, this is exactly what I was talking about with brand awareness. With corruption, you know what you're going to get. You've seen the videos, you've seen, or it's easy to, if you've never been to these raves before and you're thinking about going to your first rave, you know what you're going to get with them because they put on what I would call an Elro-esque party. I did a podcast with the lads, and that's how we talked about it when we were in the room. It's very Elro-esque with the aesthetics, stages. It looks really really good, and in my opinion, they don't need to have the strongest lineup on to be able to do what they do because a lot of it's in the aesthetic, and one or two big names can make the difference on there. My brother goes to these events actually. Come to think of it, he likes that wow factor of the visuals, and all of his mates and all them not go to that. So I understand the appeal for the event. On the flip side, we have Bouncing, the official opening party. In my opinion, the stronger lineup. I think there's not really much of an argument when you look at the lineup that's there. I think it is quite distinctively the stronger lineup, in my opinion. Um, but that said, they don't do what corruption do. So like, there's a balance to what brings a person and what brings a raver to an event. This, to me, there's a couple of things that's appealing on here. Obviously, you've got the lineup, which is great in itself. Um, but you've got the fact it's in Fusion Event Space, formerly Mode, opening party. So there'll be people who'll be going to this that's from Burnley, who's first time it's been open in a while. I know the lads have been working on doing the place up, sound systems, lights, etc., and it's looking pretty cool from what I've seen. That is appealing to me as well. I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing what that looks like now as a raver. And obviously the lineups. If you're a bounce head and into your bounce music, this is pretty strong. This is some of the best in the scene, in my opinion. And that's why I was saying what brings you to an event, because like I said, I showed you the lineups. Both have got distinctive lineups. I think there's only Pete on either side that's the same on the lineups. I'm not going to sit here and scan through them all, but I think there's only Pete Daly who's on the same on the lineups there. So two distinctively different lineups. Someone's going to correct me in the comments and say there's someone else, but from my perspective, Corruption have got their own selling points of what they do with their residents and with their aesthetic, so to say, and that's a huge selling point. It's going to be a really busy night for them. At the same time, you've got Bouncing, who've got the brand new venue that everyone knows is reopening, and in my opinion, the stronger lineup. This, if this goes 50-50 either way, I can see why. There's not one that's clearly tanking the other. It's a very, very strong competition. It goes to show as well that this time last year, I believe there was a bit of a worry in the scene that numbers were dipping, and it was very, very tough. The cost of living is very expensive now. Like it's getting worse. But the numbers that I'm seeing for the events, a lot of the younger people, I tend not to be that affected by it. And when you see, I'm going to events and things, and they're as busy as they've ever been. It didn't seem like there was a slog like there was last year. Um, so yeah, that's what I mean. So my question is to anyone who's watching right now: which event of those would you go to, or are you going to? And secondly, what what does it for you for an event? Is it the lineup? Is it the aesthetic, the stage production? Is it the location? I know in some cases Wigan's much easier to get to than Burnley in like trains and things like that. Is it like geographical locations? What does it for you? Is it the MCs? Is it the DJs? You know, it's quite an interesting subject. So that was my main topic of discussion for today. I'd like to know what everyone else thinks. People are maybe not going to like what I've said in this, but I mean it's subjective, you know. What is the saying? Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. Do you know what I mean? But that's my main topic of discussion this week, and I would like to know what you think of that. So that's the first thing I wanted to get out the way. Next up was a bit of an update on the Manic side of things. So we now have obviously the weekly show, which I'll be hosting. I'll try and get John on them. Obviously, we live quite far away from each other, but I'll try and get John on when I can. I'd like to hear his opinions on things. And a couple of things with regards to releases. We're going to be doing a bit of a compilation, like we did last year. It actually came on physical. I haven't got any with me right now. The packed away. There was a physical release. We're going to do a couple of compilations that will be going out digitally. They'll be going out on Spotify, whether it's myself who mixes them up with John or it's one of the artists on the label. It'd be just quite interesting to get some compilations out there. I know a lot of people are digging the tunes that we're doing at the minute as a label, so that'll be quite good. Next Monday we will be releasing Relentless Sounds, More Than Words Can Say. In my opinion, we're in March. I think it's going to be one of the. Should we crack on with some of the tune reviews then? So, a couple of things that we've got lined up. We'll have a look, shall we? First up, we've got Underdog Project. I Can't Handle It, and it's the Danny Gibson remix. Danny sent me this about a week ago, and you know something, I really like it. But we'll see what you guys think. We'll have a little bit of feedback for Danny. See, and if you're enjoying the tune, let Daddy know. Comment below and say any feedback, what you like about the tune, what you dislike. And I'll send it over to Danny when it's done. I'll make sure he sees it. It's always good to show a little bit of appreciation to these producers. And the reason I say that is look at the likes of Danny. He's been consistent for so many years. And I feel like now it's only now that he's starting to really get his flowers, which is good. It's really good to see, but it's taken too long. So if you've got a good thing to say about a tune, if you've got a good thing to say about a producer out there, make it be known, because the little comments keep the wheels turning. Because there isn't and this is me just being fully transparent with you, there's no huge financial win on this. There's no huge credibility win on this. If you enjoy someone's music, just let them know. And that goes for everyone. Again, if we talk about today, if you enjoy any of the tunes in there, either drop them a message and say, fuck me, really digging this, or if you enjoy it, that is. But if not, if you don't enjoy it, obviously say what you didn't like, and this feedback is a feedback loop that will go back to the producer, and you'll be able to go, they can take that on board, and whether that's subjective, where they go, oh well, I appreciate and take that on board, but I'm going to continue doing things my way, that's cool. If it's something that's a genuine, constructive feedback, then they can do something about that and go, oh, actually, I never thought of it like that, and look at it from different perspectives. So, first track review of the month. This is The Underdog Project, and this is I Can't Handle It. Danny Gibson on the remix. Let's have a listen to this, see what we notice. Nice subby drum there. Nice reverse kicks. One thing about Danny's tunes that I'd like to point out is his percussion's always dead solid and crisp. I think the bed of his tracks are like it's always solid. Bit of an old school sounding dong sample there. Lovely old school sounding riff, but I'm really digging that string progression there. Really like that. Fucking good tune this, you know. Feeling this. I love the layers to this. This is what Danny stands out for as well. Distinctively, not just, you know, it's not just a simple formula every time. Listen to the layers, listen to the strings and the riffs, percussion, donk, all laid together. Lovely change of the riff there. So, overall opinion of that tune, I love it. I always say this with Danny's tunes; they're always very well produced. Anyways, I think they're always pretty solid. No production feedback, I don't think is needed there. I think it does exactly what it needs to. There's no, nothing that stands out for me as wrong or anything like that, or needs tweaked. I think it's solid. I love the percussion in that as well. Fantastic. Subjectively, this is this is the sound that I got into when I first started listening to the bouncy sort of hard house thing. So when if it's quite clearly like a hugely dinky inspired track there, but there's elements of that like late 90s, early 2000s hard house, some of the sounds, some of the structure to the track. That string is what levels it up for me in that. I know it's only something subtle and small, but he could have left it out and it would have still sounded like a good track. But just having that string melody, just it it shows maturity in the production, in my opinion. If that's the best word that I can say, really. But I really like that tune. That's a solid 8 out of 10, 100%. So nice one, Danny. I'm actually going to feature that on this month's radio show as well. So that's how much I like it. Really do like it. So yeah, what have we got next? We've got V Bounce, and it's called "Hold My Hand, Raindrops." So, from my understanding, V Bounce is an Australian-based producer. I came across his music. He sounds very much like Hypersonic. His style's really like heavily influenced by Hypersonic, which is never a bad thing, is it? Some quality stuff came from the Hypersonic lab. So we'll take a listen to that and see what we can see what we think of that. Straight away, as soon as I've started that off, that clap. It's that mid 2000s Clubland era clap that Wayne used in his productions. That's yeah, very much Wayne sounding. Portamento lead coming in there with the gliding notes. I like that. Let's have a listen to that then. So, this is from V Bounce. So I actually like the track. Cover vocals for me are always a bit of a like, it needs to be bang on. I feel like her vocal was lovely, but in certain places it seemed like it was maybe like a bar or two delayed. And obviously, I know a cover vocal never needs to be exact, but I was finding myself wanting to sing along, and my singing then goes drastically out of time. Nothing production wise there. Like, obviously, it's a choice that you've done there with regards to that. Um, I really like the style you've went for. It's that style that I know you love that Wayne did. So it's really solid. There is a couple of things I would point out. If I would be hesitant to play this in the club. I do find that with that crunchy clap that you've got there with that Wayne style, it sounds a little bit loud and harsh on the ears. I'd maybe turn that down in the mix as well. I've seen similar people produce tracks like that, use tracks where they are really, really harsh on the high end, and you hear it in a club, and it's nothing major, but you just need to turn that down in the mix, I think. Um, Musically, nice tune. There was two things that I picked up on the main melody. You had like a nice thing going. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it was nice. It was very again very Wayne-esque, but at the end, your resolution doesn't really resolve to the end of the melody. Doesn't resolve back to the next part. So if you were going to play the melody twice, as it restarts again, it just for me doesn't hit the spot. I'd maybe make some changes there. And just before the vocal comes in, there on the last 32. By the way, I've not heard this before until today. I just downloaded it. He sent me over this morning, so I haven't had a chance to listen to it. But on the last 32 bars, there where the vocal came in, there was like a donk roll or something. It just seemed a bit random and out of nowhere. I like tunes that it's nice to have surprises and stuff in, but if you've got that like saw bass there, playing, I don't think there's a need for like a donk roll or a donk fill, in my opinion. Again, this is subjective, so you can say, should Bradley talk shit, but it's just what I'm feeling off the track. I just felt like it was a bit randomly put there. And lastly, the same with the bass as well. I feel like it's quite harsh on the high end, same as the clap. If you were to cut a little bit of that out, I wouldn't even say necessarily turn it down. Just cut some of the higher frequencies out. I think that will be solid. That I do like it. For that one, I'm going to give it a, because of the vocal placement, I'm going to give that a 5.5. By the way, that's not bad. By the way, just don't see it as bad. But I think a 5.5 out of 10 is about where I'm with that one. Thank you for submitting as well. I do appreciate it. Again, keep them coming. I do enjoy listening to those tracks. I think that style's very much up my street. So thank you for submitting that. And we've got one more tune, which is out on Tidy 2. It is Xander Club and Nomadic, and it's Like a Rainbow. Everyone knows the original. I'll just get that on now. Straight away, quite heavy kick drum there. Nice. Straight away, some lovely effects on them arpeggios. Obviously, everyone loves that classic offbeat sound as well. Nice and airy pads there, love that.
When the sun lights a rainbow on the tears of joy, I cry for you. And the dreamers dream forever. Then I know I'll be here with you.
This is fantastic. Love this melody. Love the offbeat. It's very Barn Refinery, isn't it? Barn Refinery. Ooh, love that gig. Banging. It's banging. When he's closed the riff up there and you hear them plucks, that's lovely, that. I love the fact that the offbeat Barn Refinery sound's been running all the way through and it hasn't got boring at all. Well placed in the mix there. That kick roll as well. Loads of low end and you can hear it filtering out. Well, that is fantastic. What a great record. I'm a big fan of the Xander Club stuff. I'm sure I've played it on the show before, some of Xander's Club things. Tidy 2 as well, one of my favourite record labels ever. The hard trance stuff that's come out, that's been fantastic. This track in particular, though, at first, when I first heard the drums at the beginning, I was thinking, oh, this is a bit reverb techno kick, and I was like, am I gonna like this or not? As soon as the bass kicked in, it was a nice balanced kick and bass where it was like, oh no, actually this is a bit of me. It sounds like a timeless tune as well. It doesn't sound like it's come from any particular era. Obviously the big trance sound was big in the late 90s, early 2000s, but the actual like production and the way it's been laid out, the use of the vocals, I love that vocal stutter just before the drop when it kicks in. That's fantastic. The melody itself is clean. The sound design on it's fantastic as well. So yeah, it's what I mean by a timeless era. It doesn't sound like it's came from anywhere in particular where you go, oh, that's that sound from that era. There's bits of everything in there, and I think that's what makes it such a good record. I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10 as well. Nothing I would change about that. If it was me producing the track, I'd maybe change the kick up so it's a little more Manic-esque. But like I say, that's subjective. But objectively, fantastic track, fantastic. Like well produced. Musically sounds amazing. Like the way where the pull the cut off down from the main melody into the plucks in the breakdown there, that creates a moment in my opinion that's just fantastic. Like I can picture that being played on the dance floor, and that moment where people just catch a breath after the drop is, yeah, that's for me, that's what it's all about, creating moments like that. Everyone can write music. Sorry, that sounds so bad, but everyone who writes music can put a melody together. They can put like a bass progression together. They can put pads down, strings, whatever. But the combination of how you use them, what differs the good producers from the greats, and the way that that was laid there, it was so smoothly done. You had the build up vocal stutter kicking for 2 bars before the vocal came back in full, and then as it broke down into the second break, it was just the transition between the closing of the opened main melody into that them plucks, and it just gives you it creates moments on the dance floor, and that's what it's about. That's why I think it's such a good record. There's several moments during that track where they're just like, ooh, nice. Whether that's been done subconsciously or not by Xander Club in this case, I genuinely don't know. But for me, that this is what makes a good record. Just little moments where you have that stutter before it kicks in. On the breakdown for the first 8 bars, you've got that like airy space esque chord progression, and you're anticipating that vocal coming in. It's nice. Really, really like it. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for me on that one. And they're the 3 tracks that I wanted to cover this week. We could do more sometimes, we could do less, depending on what's submitted in, and what I think's worth reviewing. I thought that tune in particular was 100% worth reviewing. Really good. I think I'll be playing that out as well. I tend to make edits. I think that's quite a long record. That one is, it's 6 minutes. I'd probably make an edit of that if I was going to play out in a club, just to get to keep the attention of the dance floor. I have realised recently or I say recently, in the last probably 3-4 years, probably since coming back from COVID actually, that the attention span's not where it used to be. But that's another conversation for another day. And yeah, so that's track reviews out the way. We've talked about events, we've talked about various things. I'm just going to do a little bit of a closer now with you. So if you've enjoyed this, and you've liked the format of this, and you've enjoyed me rabbiting on and reviewing music for the last, what is it, 40 odd minutes, then let me know, because I would really appreciate that, because what you like or what you dislike obviously makes this show better. If you say, you know what, this part was absolutely shit, then tell me, because that's what it's about, isn't it? It's like, we can only get better by um, you going, you know what, I actually didn't like this, but what you did do that I did like, we can move forward. And going forward, again, I'm not going to listen to every opinion and go, you know what, yeah, you're right there, because you might be wrong. Who knows? But if I see something that's worth taking on as constructive criticism, fucking all about it. Absolutely all about it. Again, I'm going to leave the link tree to the link for Manic Music, so you can go check out our stuff in the description of the video. If you have got tracks to send, or if you've got questions to put in to discuss on the show, then let me know. You know, send me a message on or any socials. Send the label a message. Send John a message if needed, and we'll discuss these things. I think it's all really good. It's not just about bounce. It's this, you know, any form of hard dance, whether that's hardcore, you know, hard trance, even the old school Italian stuff. You know, anything that's sort of rave related. Really, we'll sit and discuss it if we need to, and if there's a subject there worth discussing. And I just want to say as well, just to finish up, thank you for your time. If you sat here through 45 minutes of me waffling and listening to tunes, then it's hugely appreciated. And if you think you've got friends out there who thought, you know what, they might enjoy this as well, that might be a bit of them, share it with them, let them know, because it helps me reach new faces, new ears, things like that. So again, thank you for listening today, and I'll see you again next week. Do not forget, and the last Friday of the month we do Manic Sessions, which is just all the freshest hard dance. We've got an artist spotlight. This month is 2753, Australian producers, going to be showcasing a few of their tracks on the show. We're going to have throwback of the month, wind it back track, and to finish off we have throwback classic of the month as well. So if that sounds like a bit of you, and you like hearing my lovely monotone voice, then tune into that as well. So again, see you again next week, and again, if you can, watch the show on Friday. See you later.